From prehistoric time to today, man's progress has been marked by his ability to fashion tools and use them to his advantage. From early humans making tools from stone, man evolved and was soon trading with other men. Money evolved, and tools such as the abacus to handle complex money transactions were developed. By the end of the 19th century, machines such as the cash register began to appear. 100 years later, we have even better computer-driven machines which track stock, change prices, and automatically reorder. Meanwhile, the reinsurance industry has failed to embrace man's drive for progress. The reinsurance industry today would be as familiar to practitioners from the 1800s as it is to modern underwriters. An underwriter or broker from 1800 would settle nicely into today's business. That is, until now. For the reinsurance industry, pivot point changes everything. Soon it will be understood that the period before pivot point was as dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't believe. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
The slump in mortgage lending in the UK continued in July, according to the latest figures from the Council of Mortgage Lenders. Total lending stood at £24.8 billion sterling, up by 5% from June, but still 27% lower than a year ago. Lending to homeowners has slumped dramatically in 2008 because the credit crunch has dried up the supply of funds available to banks. House sales have dropped by nearly 50% this year and will probably fall further. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, mortgage applications in the US declined last week to the lowest level since December 2000, as fewer homeowners sought to refinance their loans. The Mortgage Bankers Association's index of applications to buy a home or refinance a loan dropped 1.5% from the prior week to 419.3. The group's purchase index fell 0.4% and its refinancing gauge slumped 3.7%. The purchase index fell to 314 after no change the prior week. The refinancing measure declined to 1,043.5, also the lowest since December 2000, from 1,073.6 the prior week. The share of applicants seeking refinancing fell to 34.8, the lowest since July 2006, from 35.2% the prior week. The average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage loan dropped to 6.47 last week from 6.58%. ArcelorMittal, the world's largest steelmaker, has bought Brazilian iron ore assets from Anglo-African miner Lomin for $810 million. The purchase comes as the firm seeks to secure access to raw materials in the face of soaring costs. It wants to generate 75% of its iron ore supply by 2012, up from the current level of 45%. ArcelorMittal said it would be considering investing an additional $700 million into expanding production in the region. China's main share index climbed by almost 8% on Wednesday on reports that the government is set to intervene to revive investor confidence. The Shanghai Composite Index closed at 2,523.3 after reports that the government will pump as much as 400 billion yuan. That's approximately $58 billion or 31.2 billion pounds sterling into the economy. The index had fallen to a 20-month low on Monday and is down by about 60% from its peak in October last year. Shares in stockbrokers gained the most, with many up 10%. The gains were driven by a report issued by JP Morgan Chase that claimed Beijing was close to introducing measures to boost faith in continued company profitability. The bank's analysts said the plan could include tax cuts and measures to support the fragile property market. The rally drove up shares in Hong Kong, where the benchmark index recovered from a one-year low, The Hang Seng Index rose 2.2% to close at 20,931.3. A French insurer, Groupama, has bought a 35% stake in Société Tunisienne d'Assurance et de Réassurance, also known as STAR, which was 95% state-owned, for 132 million Tunisian dollars. It's approximately 115 million US dollars. The partial privatization of STAR reflects the government's policy of gradually withdrawing from the financial sector. Groupama beat off competition from two local insurance firms, Comar and CAT, and several overseas bidders, including France's AXA and Massif, Kuwait's TIC, Lebanon's Lebanano Arabe Insurance, and Morocco's RMA Wataniya.